Look, being a FNAF fan is tough. There are just hard truths you have to accept, like how the bite of 87 was irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, the mimic being objectively hot, and FNAF not being real. That last part is what I would be saying if I was a quitter. I'm moments away from experiencing what could only be described as peak. The only problem is I want FNAF to be real now. If only there was like a fan project or something to tie me over till then. Oh! If you were active in the early days of the FNAF community, you'll most likely remember speculations around whether Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria was a legitimate establishment from the 80s. It wasn't. Still, with things like the real-life location being spotted that totally was some random pizza parlor, along with sightings of the characters at locations like a hotel, they proved to be major fuel to the already big fire. If there was one video, nay, an entire channel I'd argue added the most fuel to the fire to the point it burnt down Fazbear's Fright, it would be Iron Horse Cinema, a YouTube channel that should slowly but surely make its way back into your consciousness. They're an independent film team most regarded for their fan-made FNAF series, a series that, whether they knew it or not, fooled many kids, into believing Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria was an actual place. So, in this video, I'd like you to join me as we go over their FNAF series to see how well it holds up all these years later, along with pinpointing exactly why the channel just mysteriously stopped uploading. Trust me, you'll want to stick around to the very end, because I was able to get in contact with one of the main founders of Iron Horse Cinema to explain the situation, plus these videos themselves do get a bit quirky. At night. Before all that though, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing so you can help me create more videos you'll enjoy. Also, be sure to give my Twitter a follow, and lastly join the Discord server to be put in a very cool and holy blender. Everything will be linked down below. If we're going to be talking about these, I feel it's only fair to give a brief history about the channel. The founders are
Jeff Moffat here.
I'm Mike Scroy.
Cy Cody. Craig Elford.
And around the early 2010s, the group had already been making short films and attending multiple film festivals, gaining a look at the film business. One of the members, Cy, recommended doing a fan film on a game all of them loved, The Last of Us, and thus created the video that would take their channel off, being uploaded on July 25th, 2013. After this success, Iron Horse would make sequels and try their hand at another PlayStation title, Uncharted. While these videos did contribute to the channel's growth, what came next would bring them to all new heights, as on March 30th, 2015, Iron Horse uploaded Five Nights at Freddy's 1980s rare TV spot Discovered. Fun fact, the idea for any sort of FNAF content at all was suggested by Jeff's kid, being a big fan of the game. And boy, listening to him proved to be a great idea, as their first video on the series is their most popular video, along with many other videos relating to FNAF. I remember watching these being fully convinced they were real. Yes, I was stupid, and super invested on what the ending meant. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself though. For now, let's begin with the video that started it all. The video presents itself as an actual commercial advertising Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, with games, pizza, family fun, and more. I've always enjoyed the idea within this canon the pizzeria is owned by an actual person named Freddy Fazbear. Like, could you imagine? Hang on, wait. Blah 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 divided by 7. The US Social Security Administration public data has no record of the name Freddy Fazbear. Oh no, it's over, you guys! The video proceeds to play out exactly how you think an ad for Freddy Fazbear would go, with the main stars showing up, with designs that will forever give me war flashbacks to the Gmod days. Alright, look, I know it's an independent filmmaking production, so I can't say too much, and really, it has nothing to do with the animation quality, more so the models being used, but dang, do these not look as good as I remembered. To be completely fair, if you wanted FNAF models around 2015, you didn't have much of a choice. So again, it doesn't hold up great, but what are you gonna do about it? Another thing worth noting about this section of the video is the song they're singing. It's not bad or anything. I just remember always being so confused about what the song was. I'll play a short clip. While little me was crying over not knowing, my technologically advanced brain used methods to find out what it was by looking up exactly what I heard, to which I found a nursery rhyme called Two Little Kittens One Stormy Night that matched exactly what I heard. The commercial ends, however, that doesn't exactly mean the video itself is over. What else could there be, you might be wondering? Everyone getting fired.
You're fired. Out! You, with the boom in my face, out! Get the hell out of here, both of you. Get out of here now. As a matter of fact, you know what? You're fired too. Get the hell out.
Okay, no, that wasn't really it. If you were paying attention to the footage being sped up, you'll be able to make out scenes that weren't from the commercial, and instead a teaser for what's to come next. Being a teaser for what's to come next, which is a trailer for Iron Horse's biggest project, Five Nights at Freddy's Cold Storage. Now this one I remember next to nothing about compared to what came before and what is coming after, as younger me was probably too scared to watch the whole thing.
Well, what if the Gmod Freddy got me?
The trailer doesn't have anything crazy to go over, with my only note being how cheesy it all is. Oh no, don't mistake that for me saying it's a bad thing. I love the serious tone along with the trailer guy being presented, saying cool lines like,
Are you ready for Freddy?
absolute perfection. Enough with the build up though. How does the next video play out? Well, we get a bit of context as news reports can be heard explaining the shutdown of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and that all the animatronics were being put away in storage to be inspected. As the intro continues, we hear a woman presumably sounding like she's in danger before we see what's actually going on and whoa, hey, Iron Horse Cinema, not cool. What are you trying to do? Get my channel deleted? On a real note, the scene plus the admittedly questionable thumbnail, which I'm sure people clicked on because of Freddy Fazbear, aren't that bad. They're pretty tamed if anything. Nonetheless, they aren't something I'm willing to bet against YouTube's system. Let's evaluate what little of the scene we're able to see. We have two people making love in a horror production. Could you guess where it's gonna go? I'll let this clip judge if you were right.
I'll be back.
You see, this is actually a twist on the concept of people dying at the beginning of horror movies, as this instead sets off a chain of events where lady person, I seriously can't remember if they gave her a name, is super impressed with Ricky's impression of the Terminator, so much that after they leave the storage room, lady person contacts her dad, who is a movie producer, and tries to see if he's willing to take Ricky as someone who can play Terminator for a new generation. The story now focuses on Ricky, as he's determined to prove to himself and everyone that you can make it to stardom, no matter who you are, as long as you truly believe in I'm just joking, they both become a part of the Unalive Club. After the opening, we get a recap of exactly what Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria was with the commercial we went over. Afterwards, we get to meet the newest employee, Jay, clocking in on his first shift. He listens to his night one audio tape, and I know within this time technology wasn't the greatest, but come on, this audio quality sounds like people I'd find on a TF2 server.
You fat bald bastard, you piece of subhuman trash! 2,000 years of constant human effort.
It wouldn't be a FNAF project if the night shift was easy. Soon, Jay's situation becomes apparent when he starts noticing strange events like random noises and seeing creepy imagery on the cameras. He decides to go investigate the situation, unknowingly being watched from a distance. Jay isn't gonna have to wait too long though to see what's causing all the strange events to occur, as soon he encounters Gmod Freddy, thus beginning the chase. Even if the models are a major throw-off due to the trauma, it looks to be a lot better here than it did in the TV spot. Who knows, maybe it has something to do with the fact they simply look better in a darker environment like this. During Jay's attempt to escape, he makes sure to do something the FNAF movie would totally copy later on, along with bumping into shelves, causing items to fall on him, with one of them being a Freddy mask. Lucky for Jay though, this video seems to follow the Pymation logic of
Pretty sure that's Freddy.
Oh, god damn it! You're Freddy!
oh, never mind, he joins the club with Ricky and Lady Person. The film ends off with Freddy and the gang being sent off to a grand reopening of the pizzeria. I wonder what the next video in the series will entail for the Fazbear gang. Who knows, it might be one of the most ambitious FNAF films yet.
Our top story here at KFI News 7.
On a real note, FNAF Fazbear's Fright breaking news report might be my favorite project Iron Horse Cinema Production has done. It takes the idea of FNAF 3's ending where the place burns to the ground and asks the question, how would outsiders react? It's executed amazingly. I cannot tell you viewers how much I love the concept of any sort of interaction with the real world and what goes on at Freddy's, even if it's extremely rare for the main series to do. Except for the books. Back to Iron Horse, the news begins with two reporters, one of whom makes me glad to see Doug has found an alternate career choice, going over Fazbear's Frights being up in flames as the fighter fighters attempt to combat it. We then segue to a reporter live on the scene, interviewing multiple people like the fire commissioner talking about how initial reports were from people mentioning strange noises coming from inside the building that were later identified as gas leaks. Ha, they don't know FNAF is real. Oh geez, they don't know FNAF is real! The report continues with interviews with bystanders talking about what they saw. One was a father and daughter pulling up after hearing a loud explosion, though slowly moving away as the heat was getting unbearable. While the second explains that when she heard the loud explosion, she also heard strange sounds that were unimaginable. This is where this part of the news section ends, as the story is still developing. However, we get another report of two missing kids. I sure wonder if that's relevant to anything at all. Well, my question won't take too long to answer, as the video ends off telling us to check out part 2, FNAF Purple Guy Revealed. You guys, this was probably the second most hyped video any kid who loved FNAF could have watched, with the first obviously being Five Nights at Pinky's 3. The video begins with no, I'm not actually talking about this video. Anyway, the real video begins with a mysterious man sitting down, mostly hidden in the shadows. Hang on, wait. Purple cap, purple guy, purple cap, purple... You guys don't think Purple Guy talks about how it's his birthday and how he wants a pizza party, as footage of what he did on the night where Fazbear Fright's burned to the ground cuts in. One of the footage is him being told to leave the crime scene, which if you paid any attention in the last video, you can see him leaving the area. I think that's a neat touch. As the tape continues, we see just how unhinged he is, being a complete psychopath who loves luring in kids into a super secret club called being unalive. His voice gets a little distorted as he talks.
You think that pizza in there was good? And I'll show you exactly what pizza can taste like!
Though, to be completely honest, this distortion makes him sound like Stevie from Smosh. A major difference within Iron Horse's version of the series is that we see Purple Guy filming Springtrap escaping the fire, meaning that within this canon, both Purple Guy and Springtrap are two different entities, unlike the games where they are one. Afterward, Purple Guy is now in his car with two kids in the back, and the feeling of, haha, that's what you call payoff. What happens next to the children or Purple Guy is a complete mystery as the tape suddenly ends. We aren't exactly at the end of his story, but this is where it pauses for a bit in favor of the next video, FNAF live action movie Don't Cry, which seems to be taking most of its inspiration from FNAF 4. Don't Cry is the first in the series to have no apparent connection right away to what we've seen so far, with this story following a child as he's awakened from a nightmare, alerted by his clock that it's 12 AM. His door also opens all by itself, and after checking it out, gets a good view into the hallway, being able to see a figure for a moment before it slips away. Thus, with the child now intrigued, decides to go explore what is going on. After exploring the house for a bit, his answers to the problems of nightmares, doors opening, and figures being spotted turn out to be because the sink was running. Yeah, I don't get that either. Turns out it was bait, as the nightmare animatronics reveal themselves. Despite having outdated designs, they admittedly do blend well with the environment, plus the animation itself is above average. The kid won't have time to appreciate the effect though, as he runs to his room. He makes it back and locks himself in. Unfortunately, all the animatronics seem to have him pinned, with them breaking into multiple areas like the door, closet, and ceiling. All hope seems lost until the kid just says they aren't real.
You're not real!
Huh, they actually worked. After all that, the kid goes back to bed to get a well-earned rest. Nah, he joins the club. Or so he thinks, as instead he wakes up realizing it was all a nightmare? The alarm goes off again, striking 12 AM, with the door opening by itself. The video transitions to reveal it's all a loop he's trapped in his mind, as he's actually in the hospital, supposedly recovering from the bite incident that had happened within the game the short is based on. The video ends with the shot of the kid almost waking up before Nightmare Freddy comes in to scare with a FNAF 3 jump scare audio. You know you're watching a classic FNAF video if the character jump scaring isn't using their jump scare audio. Honestly, that's a perfect way to describe all the videos we've seen so far. These are classics that FNAF fans both new and old should watch to either get a glimpse into what the community was like, or to relive memories of imagining Freddy Fazbear as a real character. While Don't Cry marked the final FNAF video of 2015, it also signified the last one for a good period of time, as other short films based on other popular indie games like Undertale, Hello Neighbor, and Bendy were being worked on. I completely understand Iron Horse wanting to do other things. I mean, hey, believe it or not, the channel wasn't made with the idea they'd only make FNAF content. So I'd like to take this moment to quickly praise their other work, like Batman Caught on Tape, purely for the concept alone of all the shots being from security cameras. Another project of theirs I really ended up enjoying was the fan-made Hello Neighbor film that was infinitely better than the official game. Speaking of which, you should see how bad the franchise gets. In terms of FNAF, however, we wouldn't get anything until Halloween 2017, when we got a video called Monster Mash. FNAF vs Bendy vs Hello Neighbor vs Undertale. I wasn't planning on talking about this at all since it was only a special, though it does have a neat callback to the dad being the night guard from Cold Storage, mentioning he has a job later that night. It also includes a fight between Sans Undertale and Nightmare Freddy. What will be the next real video for their FNAF series? Would there be another? Well, we'd get our answer in early 2018 with a collaboration between Iron Horse and Bubblegum Monster for a short film based on not an official game, but a fan one, The Joy of Creation, which was a two-parter event, with part 1 being on Iron Horse's channel while part 2 was on Bubblegum Monster. Instead of having parts that play back to back, both videos depict the same night for a married couple, except they're from different perspectives. Iron Horse's first part focuses on the wife, waiting for her husband to return from putting boxes away in the attic. She decides to spend her time channel surfing until one of the networks she comes across seems to be a live feed of their own home, with the point of view being from an animatronic. The wife quickly goes into panic mode, uncertain of what to do, until she gets a call from the TV from a stranger named Michael, warning her of the danger of the situation and to hide from the animatronics at all costs. As Michael hangs up, Foxy makes his way into the room, which hey, the models aren't outdated this time. Both it and the animation aren't half bad. Too bad for the wife not being able to see it, as she's too busy sneaking her way through Foxy before getting spotted and chased, barely making it upstairs to the bedroom, where the TV turns on showing pictures of her husband in great danger. That's where part 1 of this ends, with part 2 showing the husband's point of view, who is the creator of the official game, Scott Cawthon. Okay, I can't act like I know anything about the Joy of Creation, because I don't, so bear with me if I don't understand this at all. Scott is putting away the final boxes in the attic, and as he leaves, he trips on an item, falling all the way down. This knocks him out until hours later when he wakes up, getting greeted by ignited Freddy. With Scott seeing his fictional characters come to life, he naturally tries to wish them to go away.
This can't be real.
Sorry Scott, seems like you don't have the same power this kid does. So with that plan failing, plan B seems to be running away, and at first he's able to escape from Freddy, entering a room that provides a note and a flashlight, with the note explaining that will be useful when dealing with the animatronics. Scott gets to prove that very quickly as Freddy shows up again, and when the light hits his face, he runs off. His danger is only getting started though, as Chica shows up within the walls, and as Scott tries to use the flashlight to defend himself, the thing dies. Gee, thanks, whoever you are. The situation quickly escalates with Freddy returning, Chica slowly crawling closer, and Foxy now breaking in through the window. Scott is completely surrounded, laying out a big scream of terror as his fate gets sealed. Don't ask me about his wife though, I have zero clue. Someone I can explain what happened to is TheBlueGuy. That's right, we're back to solely Iron Horse production videos after 3 years, not counting the Halloween special, with a whole VHS series called FNAF TheBlueGuy Captured. The plot follows Detective Jansen interrogating William Afton.
My name, I go by Billy. Billy's my name. Billy.
Never mind, Billy it is. Billy was first arrested for having a broken headlight, but due to having items that belonged to a kid that had gone missing, is now being faced with multiple charges. When asked about the whereabouts of the kids he's taken, he says he doesn't know. Anyone who's anyone will know straight away, that's a lie. However, what isn't a lie are some of the facts we learn within part 2, being how he's the CEO of Afton Robotics, along with being the co-owner of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We also learn this version of Afton closely resembles his endgame counterpart, as he also has children, with one of them being the kid from Don't Cry. Taking one good look at the shot, realizing how much this arm does not look like it's Billy's, along with how this part calls him out on how much he doesn't care for his own kids, big stretch trying to connect these two. The video continues showing Billy's more deceptive and manipulative side, trying to turn the whole situation on Jansen, asking personal questions. This works momentarily, with her deciding to leave the room for a little, until returning for part 3. The last recording sees Jansen confronting Billy about the recording they had found of him at Fazbear's Fright, the night of the burning. This turns out to be a huge mistake to bring up though, as her knowing this drives Billy to a level of insanity we've never seen him at. He caves in a little, giving one vague hint as to where he took the kids, being a magical place where fantasy and fun come to life. Afterwards, he attacks the detective, making her the newest member of the Unalive Club. With her out of the picture, Billy frees himself from his handcuffs, making his grand escape from the police. The end. Yeah, when you think about it, it's a really depressing note to leave on. TheBlueGuy gets away with all the terrible things he's done. Those children he had, they're probably dead. Overall, how is the series now? It's still amazing. Yes, some parts are heavily outdated. However, it doesn't take away from the great production, acting, and stories they were able to do behind every one of their videos. And I mean that for all of them, not just FNAF. I'm sure if they had continued, they'd still be making amazing videos to this day. But then that begs the question, what happened to Iron Horse Cinema Production? If you remember at the start of the video, I mentioned I was able to get in contact with one of the founders of the channel. Who exactly did I get in contact with? Well, no other than Jeff Moffat. So when asked about what happened to the channel, what was their response? Well, I'll be happy to read it in its entirety. Hi, when COVID hit back in 2020, we were forced to take a break. It's been very challenging trying to get the team back together for projects. Some team members left for other opportunities, some have more demanding jobs and are no longer available for projects. We worked so hard over the years. I guess we made it look easy. Thank you for your loyalty over the years. Sincerely, Jeff Moffat. While this answers our question about the disappearance of the channel, this isn't exactly the whole story. You see, while the pandemic forced them not to work on film projects, it didn't exactly stop them from working on anything. They were given plenty of time to work on a little something they announced a while back in 2018. Exactly what am I talking about? Let me introduce you to Rigsby's Funtown Factory, an indie horror game being developed by newly established Iron Horse Games. It would have been a blend of survival horror with a hint of comedy, where you work for Rigsby's Funtown Burger, a popular fast food restaurant well known for including toys with their meals. As the player, your job takes place within the factory making the figures. It's best to be careful within your environment, because soon enough it becomes evident you aren't exactly all alone. Now the concept is pretty solid, and it's obvious that the team behind the project had a clear vision of what they wanted to accomplish. Honestly, their transition from wanting to make horror movies to horror games seemed like a logical one, given their experience working on films based on successful mascot titles. I mean, how hard could it be? Sadly, we'd find out the worst way possible, as there was never any public release of the game, with the only remnant being early footage plus some concept art, leaving us with a glimpse at what could have been. That might be a little confusing to some of you viewers, as I had previously mentioned this game was all Iron Horse was focused on, so if that's the case, how come there's barely anything of it? It all boiled down to money, or lack of. When the campaign launched asking people to help make the dream a reality, it would go on to reach 20% of its goal, making it a complete failure. It's a shame too, because honestly these characters and world look interesting enough. The marketing for it went out the best it could with a live action promo, plus plans revealing the intention to release tie-in merch at some point. Later on in 2021, there would even be an app released for Google Play and the App Store that today is no longer available to download. Rigsby's Funtown Factory as a whole now sits in limbo, because once again, Jeff Moffat was able to talk about the game's future, explain how he believes the game will be a home run when it eventually comes out. Going into this video, I had thought maybe the channel had run its course, with the creators behind it simply moving on to other things, and while it's true to an extent, it was caused by a global catastrophe that was beyond their control. It really is an upsetting way to go out, and if Jeff's message is anything to go by, nothing big is happening anytime soon. So if this truly is the end for now, I want to thank every member from Iron Horse Cinema Production for the amazing memories you've created for not only me, but for all the people that have watched even one of your videos. As cheesy as it may be, they truly were able to make the fantasy and fun of all of our favorite fictional media come to life. Now that I think about it, I don't even know if I'll enjoy this version of FNAF being real as much as oh, it's the final countdown! Oh boy, here we go, oh, here we go! I sneezed, what happened?